Hi again, and welcome back to my Central Virginia garden. For those of you who are new to the channel, I am a no-dig gardener, organic gardener in Central Virginia. Just moved up to Zone 7B. We used to be 7A, for what that's worth. At any rate, today I'm going to plant the very first of my pumpkins because it is nearing the end of May, and pumpkins do take a long time to get going. They also like it warm. So I'm going to plant two kinds of pumpkins today, both of which I've planted before. And you can check out some of my videos from last year on these as well. The first one I'm going to do is Cinderella pumpkin. That is a big orangey red pumpkin, and it looks a little bit like Cinderella's coach. People grow them just for decoration, but I made pies out of them at Thanksgiving, and I made soup, and they're quite delicious. The other one, which is definitely worth growing and is very prolific and is really tough and enduring in this particular environment where we get hot summers and humidity. This is called the Seminole pumpkin, and it's a very small pie pumpkin, and it is so flavorful. The flesh is really dense and dark orange, while the outside, it looks more like a little butternut squash that's sort of squished down. So they grow to be about maybe 4 to 5 pounds, whereas the Cinderella pumpkins were weighing in at like 15 to 20 pounds. So two different kinds of pumpkins, both edible. And I'm going to just plant two in two places today. I will be planting additional pumpkins as in another week or so when my potato plants come out. This is the area I call my external garden because it's outside of the fence. My main garden is over here, but I have all the perimeters planted, and I have quite a few things growing on the outside as well. On the far end, beyond the archway, you can see that I have two potato patches growing. These are Ruth Stout style potatoes, and this was the crazy experimental potato bed that I made this earlier this spring. You can see a video on that as well. But the potato plants are definitely growing. And today I came out and one of them was kind of keeled over. I think it got eaten by voles, but there were a few little potatoes in here. So that's what we call dinner. In this area, I'm going to plant my Cinderella pumpkin. So let's go ahead and plunk those down right there. As I spin around here, you see my other potato bed. This one is coming along. This was planted a little bit later. It's doing really, really well. But I've got some room on the edge. And so I'm going to go ahead and put in my first Seminole pumpkin over here. You might ask, why am I planting my pumpkins when my potatoes are still growing? Well, that's because those potatoes are going to come out of the ground in a few more weeks. And it's going to take a few weeks for these pumpkins to really get going. So might as well go ahead and get them germinated and get them establishing their root system. Then in about 3 weeks, when the potatoes are going to come out, those pumpkins will really be ready to start growing and expanding. So I put them also on the edge because then the vines can just go where they want to go. Last year, I had pumpkins growing absolutely everywhere out here. It made me happy, and we got a whole lot of pumpkins. In fact, I still have a Seminole pumpkin that I've got to cook. Those things last. Their shelf life is amazing. Here it is, almost June, and I've got a perfectly good Seminole pumpkin to still on my shelf. So it's a great variety, and I would highly recommend it. I don't know if it grows everywhere in the country, but it surely did do well for me here. Got a potato plant growing here, and over here, this is a flower bed over here. So I don't want these to interfere too much in that. So let's just kind of put it in along about right here. As I said, this is a Ruth Stout bed. So it is very, very, very rich. Nonetheless, I'm just going to put a little compost down in here and put it in like that. Not necessarily, you can also use just potting soil mix if you want to have something for the seeds to kind of get nestled in. So these are the Seminole pumpkins. I'm going to go ahead and put in 3 seeds, knowing that that's going to get thinned out. The other thing I can do is pick up one of these and move it to another spot. So I'm going to put those down about an inch into the compost, into the planting material. A Ruth Stout bed is made simply by piling up hay, a lot of hay, and then that will compost down and things grow right into it. I had pumpkins growing in here last year that did fantastically. So let's go ahead and put the stake in there so we know what we've got when they come up. That was easy. Now this bed has everything. This is going to be such a rich bed. Oh, look, another little potato in there. Yeah, better look around just a little more to make sure I'm not missing any. Here's the Cinderella pumpkin seeds. These actually are much bigger than the Seminole pumpkin seeds. They're going to go down a good inch. There we go. And cover them up like so. Put in our marker. Growing from seed is such a rewarding thing. Here's something I wish that I had known when I was a beginning gardener, not that long ago. I started this particular garden 5 years ago and really got delved into gardening in a big way in the last few years. What I didn't know then that I know now is that growing from seed is totally the way to go. You go to places like Home Depot and Lowe's and nurseries, and they have plants and plants and plants there, tomatoes and cucumbers and everything else. However, the variety is really limited, particularly if you buy from that national company that starts with a B and sort of sounds like a bunny. They're really limited. And so growing from seed is so much cheaper. It gives you so much more diversity in your garden. And it's a lot of fun because you really do nurture those plants from the beginning to the end with all the things along the way. So, and planting pumpkins from seed could not be easier. In fact, I have one that planted itself in my garden on the inside in my tomato patch. And I just realized it's actually a pumpkin, not a squash. So it's going to take up a lot of room, but I'm going to leave it. At any rate, that's neither here nor there. I thank you so much for watching. If you love to grow your own food and you love to cook what you grow, do consider subscribing. At least throw a like down there. And please do take time to comment. I love interacting with my followers. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.